Cool Tune, we can talk about Cool Tune, but it's not something that I can like hold a presentation over like I just did about Dragon Rulers, because I simply I'm not that deep into the Cool Tune sauce. So the Cool Tune segment is more like a learning together kind of thing, because I'm aware about the concept of this deck. But I'm like, we have to talk through some lines and combos now and stuff like that. Like I can't just, I haven't played this deck before, which also makes it a fun challenge, I think. But yeah, let's look into it. So I do know that everything in this deck is tuners. Get a little closer. All right, so I know that we've got 4 main deck monsters at this point in time. So not the most amount of consistency for Cool Tunes, unfortunately. But everything in this deck is a tuner, and everything in this deck locks you into tuners, which also includes the synchro monsters. The synchros are also tuners, right? So what we've got is, I think 3 of these are starters. I think everyone besides Clip is technically a 1-card starter, right? We've got Cool Tune Rekko, Cool Tune Mix, and Cool Tune Q. Are all starters, and we have more ways to search those, which we can talk about in a second. But okay, so what these do is, and this is for you guys, but also for myself to learn this a little bit. So Cool Tune Rekko, focus. If this card on the field would be used as synchro material, 1 tuner in your hand can be used as one of the other materials. This is something that all of them do. So you can synchro with the tuners in your hand. So it also has some hand trap synergies. So already, this is going to be a different concept from Dragon Rulers, because the concept of Cool Tune is basically they have very few points. And you can play a bunch of the level 3 hand traps to synchro with them in your hand if you don't need them. So if this card, you can only use each effect once per turn. If this card is normal or special, you can add a Cool Tune monster from deck or grave to your hand, except a level 3. If this card is sent to the grave as synchro material, you can target a spell trap your opponent controls, destroy it. Okay, so the 3 Cool Tune starters all have very similar structure to their effects, right? They all have the effect that you can use a tuner in your hand. They all have an on-summon effect, and they all have an effect when they are used as material and sent to the graveyard, right? So for Rekko, it's on-summon add, not level 3. And on synchro summon, it targets a spell trap and pops it. And then for Cool Tune Q, which is the other level 3, same thing. If it's used as synchro, you can use a tuner in your hand. You can only use each effect once per turn. If this card is normal summoned, you can special a tuner from your hand, deck, or graveyard. Any tuner. Now, this one is only on normal summon. So this one is, you're going to try to have this as your normal summon all the time. And of course, the reason why Rekko is still a starter, even though it just searches, is because whatever you search, you can use as synchro material from your hand, right? But yeah, Q is on normal summon. It's just a tour guide for any tuner. And this one does lock you into tuners for the rest of the turn. And then, if this card is sent to the grave as synchro material, excavate 2 cards from the top of your opponent's deck, banish one of them, banish the other on the top or bottom of the deck. So this is the first of a couple of these where Cool Tune's interruptions are very unique, but also different. I guess those are just kind of the same word, but like unique, but also weird is the right word, because they have some removal. It's kind of like a split between. It's a split between removal and resource grinding, right? Because Q, for example, is kind of like, look at the top 2 and try to snipe a good resource and banish it, right? Like, for example, if you play against Draco Tail, you could get lucky and hit one of the Draco Tail traps. And when you banish one of the Draco Tail traps, of course, that makes their grind game weaker. If you hit a card that you know is a one-of, you can banish that and make their grind game weaker. And that's like kind of like supposed to be one of the win conditions of Cool Tune, because quite frankly, they don't have enough removal to win just from removal, but they also don't have enough resource disruption to win just off of resource disruption. I think that's one of the core problems that Cool Tune kind of like has, or maybe had before the the support is that like they're trying to do both things, but they're not particularly strong at either, right? They don't have crazy amounts of removal and they don't have crazy amounts of resource disruption. So they're kind of like just like mid at both. But okay. We've got Cool Tune Mix. Cool Tune Mix is a level 2 warrior. If this card on the field would be used, you can use a tuner in your hand. You can only use each effect once per turn. If this card is normal or special, you can add a Cool Tune monster from your deck or grave to your hand, except a level 2. If this card is sent to the grave as synchro material, you can target a monster your opponent controls, destroy it. So this one, Reco and Mix both on summon search, but this one does not search level 3. This one does not search level 2. So they basically search not their own level, essentially. Yeah. And this one pops monsters, this one pops spells. And then we've got Cool Tune Clip, which is in some ways the coolest and in some ways also the thing that people hate most about this deck, which is not a starter, but it does say during your opponent's main phase, if it's in your hand, quick effect, special this card, and then you can synchro summon a tuner synchro monster, and if it's sent to the grave as synchro material, you can banish face up one random face down card from your opponent's extra deck. It is a random extra deck rip. It's banished face up, which in some cases matters and makes it easier to recover, but it's, once again, similar to Cool Tune Q, these two are kind of like aiming to like disrupt your opponent's resources, right? Like you're trying to randomly snipe good cards off the top of their deck, and you're trying to randomly snipe extra deck cards out of their extra deck to try and win the game that way. But once again, like this does read very powerful, but I think in practice, a lot of the times, you're just not sniping a super important card if it's random, right? Like it's not Kashtira Unicorn level on so many in so many different ways, because like you're not looking at their extra deck, you're not picking the card, you're not gaining any info on like, oh, they only play this as a one-off or whatever. You just snipe a random card out of their extra deck. It could matter, it could never matter. And it's also banished face up, so there's ways to get it back, right? But still, there is ways to do this over and over and over again. So if the game goes long enough, right? And that's the idea here. If the game goes long enough, eventually you're gonna hit important cards with Q, and you're gonna hit important cards with Clip. And so the longer the game goes, the more this deck is favored to win the resource game, because maybe one banish didn't matter, but then banish 2, 3, 4 might matter eventually. So that's the monster engine. One cool thing about this deck is that they have a lot of different types. So even though they don't have that many starters, there's ways to complement that, because they have a lot of different typings, and there's searchers for these cards. But yeah, then there's Cool Tune Synchro, which is a really good card, a really good consistency card for this deck. Add a Cool Tune card from your deck to your hand, except Synchro, and then immediately after this resolves, you can Synchro summon a tuner monster. You cannot special for the rest of this turn except tuners, and you can activate 2 of this per turn. This is super good because it's a quick play Rhoda that also dodges Imperm and Veiler and whatever else, right? You can, if you normal summon Q, activate effect, your opponent Veilers it, you chain Cool Tune Synchro, search 1, perform a Synchro summon, Synchro away the Q, and then still resolve it, which is really good. So this is everything for this deck, right? This is consistency, it dodges interaction, and it's also an interruption on the opponent's turn, because all of them have graveyard effects when they're synchroed with, and this is a quick play spell. So set up as many of these as possible for your opponent's turn, and you can trigger all of your effects on their turn as well. So this is basically the heart and soul of this deck, is to perform these synchro summons not only on your turn, but also on your opponent's turn. That's like the core of this whole thing, because of course, like I said earlier, these effects, like, if you resolve this once on your first turn, it probably doesn't matter. You have to resolve this multiple times in order for it to have an impact. And that's what this card is really good for. They have a field spell, which usually is just a one-of because it's not a starter. It does give you an additional normal summon in case you have a bunch of these on your hand. Because one problem I think that this deck can have, if you don't have Cool Tune Synchro to dodge Imperm or Veiler, if you normal summon one of these and it gets Impermed or Veilered, you also lose the ability to use a tuner in your hand as material, right? So like you kind of like you summon this, it's negated, and you're kind of stuck with that, and you can't keep going. So that's why JJ Cool Tune is here to give you an additional normal summon, and you can also tribute a tuner to add to your hand or special summon a cool tune from your deck. So it can be an extender, but only if you already have a You don't? Oh, that's not true. Oh, wait, that makes it so much better. Oh, that's good. See, that's a good thing that we talked about that, because I thought that would also get negated if you get impermed. That makes it so much easier to play through Imperm and Veiler. It's a condition on the card, like the Klee skills. Yeah, I mean it's hard to distinguish between what's a condition and what's just an effect. Like when you imperm a Promethean princess, you're not locked anymore, but then there's other cards that still lock you even if they get impermed. But okay, that's good to know. That's good talk. That makes it a lot easier to play through Imperm and Veiler. Good to know. All right, good talk. The field spell is cool, but just the fact that it doesn't play on its own, I think, is why most builds are only playing one copy, but you can technically play more of these. And then there's one more card for Cool Tune, where we have to go through the extra deck still, because I actually don't remember all their effects, but this card makes me sad. The reason this card makes me sad is because no one plays it, and I think this card is super fun. So I'm gonna try to see if I can fit this into the deck, because I think this card is awesome. But like, maybe some people play it, but the lists that I found, we can look at them in a second, because I haven't built the deck yet. We have to build it together. But I found some lists online, and they weren't playing this card. In the main deck, I think some people were siding it. So this is, surprise, surprise, the trap card that generates card advantage is Josh's favorite card of the archetype. This is my favorite card in this deck, and I would like to play it if possible. This card says, target one Cool Tune monster in your field or graveyard. Apply these effects in sequence. Also, you're locked into tuners. Apply that target's effect that activates when it's sent to the grave as synchro material, and then also return it to the hand. So this card is awesome because it gives you card advantage by adding back tuners from your graveyard, and then also duplicating their effects. So for example, if you have Rekko in the grave, this pops a spell trap. If you have Mix in the grave, this pops a monster. If you have Clip in your grave, it banishes from your opponent's extra deck. If you have Q in your grave, you can banish from your opponent's deck. The reason why I like this card so much is because it plays into this exact play style that I've talked about before, where you need to somehow reach critical mass with your Cool Tune graveyard effects for them to actually have any impact, right? So all of a sudden, instead of just banishing one card from their extra deck, you're banishing multiple, because you're resolving Clip on your turn, Clip on your opponent's turn, playlist to add back Clip, this kind of thing. You reach critical mass on these types of effects, and you actually have enough removal, enough disruption to maybe walk away with the game and outgrind the opponent, because you also generate follow-up from this. The problem is that it's a trap card, obviously, and most of the time, if you have the luxury to search a Cool Tune spell trap, you're gonna search more copies of Synchro, right? So I'm not sure if you're gonna play this card. Maybe I'm gonna try to play it as a one-off at least in my deck. I want to try it. If it's bad, it's bad. I don't care. I can cut it later, but I want to play it, so I will play it. But probably not three. Probably not 3 copies. I'm not delusional. I understand that Cool Tune Synchro does what this card does basically, but is also a consistency piece and better going second and everything. So I wanna try to play it. It is also twice per turn though. But once again, it's unlikely you play multiple of this, but it's a really neat concept of a card. So yeah, from what I've seen, this is the ratios for the main deck I would like to play, right? All 12 of the monsters, because we just need all of them. They're all consistency. Clip is a hand trap as well. You're gonna always play 3 Cool Tune Synchro. It's the best card in the deck. 1 copy of the field spell, as it's not a starter, and I really want to play 1 copy of the trap. So this is essentially the Cool Tune package we're gonna play in the main deck, which is a solid 17 cards, which still is a lot of room for supplementary engines and non-engine, right? So it's very different from the Dragon Rulers, where if we have the Dragon Rulers on the table, we already have a 40 card deck finished, basically, right? So this deck is going to need some help from other engines and non-engine. But first, let's take a look at the synchros. They actually got a really good amount of synchros in the first wave. We've got Cool Tune RS, which I think is for Red Signal, Cool Tune Trackmaker, Cool Tune Remix, and Cool Tune Loudness War. We've got 4 synchros in the first wave. So a lot of them. And now let's take a quick look at these together, because I actually also don't remember them. Yeah, not all of them. Okay, so Cool Tune Loudness War. Now all of these are tuners, so you can still summon them after you're locked, and they have different levels. So this one is a level 6 that requires 2 or more tuners. Other tuners you control cannot be destroyed by card effects. Also, your opponent cannot target them with card effects. When your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you can banish a Cool Tune monster from your grave. Apply that monster's effect that activates when it's sent to the grave as synchro material. You can only use this effect once per turn. So once again, we've got targeting protection here, and we have the ability to copy our graveyard tuner effects once again. Further, like you see where this is going, right? Like you're supposed to repeat, depending on the matchup, right? Depending on the matchup, you're supposed to repeat these effects over and over and over again until you reach critical mass and you get enough resources away from your opponent, right? As an example, if you play against a deck that is weak to removal, you're supposed to keep using Mix's graveyard effect over and over and over again, right? Use it to make a synchro, then copy it with playlist, then copy it with this, and so on, until you have enough removal to stop their turn. If you're playing against a deck that doesn't care about removal, but only has a lot of one-ofs in the extra deck that are really important, you're supposed to keep looping Clip. If your opponent's deck has a lot of really important one-ofs in the main deck, you're supposed to loop Q, right? That's the idea. At least the way I interpret this is like you're supposed to loop the one that's strong in any given matchup over and over again. So Loudness War does this as well. We've got Cool Tune Remix, which is gains 1500 attack while your opponent has a tuner in the field or grave. During your opponent's turn, quick effect, tribute this card, choose 2 non-synchro tuners in your grave, add one of them to your hand. If you do special the other, then after this effect resolves, you can synchro summon. You can only use this effect once per turn. Once again, same thing. You can summon this and then reuse some stuff in your graveyard on your opponent's turn. Bring them back, quick synchro, trigger their graveyard effects again. So Remix is really cool. Then we've got Cool Tune Trackmaker, which says, oh, by the way, this one needs Mix. This is a level 5 and it needs Mix. You have to have Mix to make it. Which is not the case for Loudness War. Loudness War is, you can make it with all of them, but for Remix, you need Mix. And for Trackmaker, you need any Cool Tune tuner and another tuner. If this card on the field would be used as synchro material, a tuner in your hand can be used as one of the other materials. So this was kind of like synchro climbing. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. If this card is special summoned, you can add any Cool Tune card from your deck to your hand. If it's sent to the graveyard, you bounce. So this is something you want to make on turn 1. You want to search either Cool Tune Synchro or the Cool Tune playlist, and then you set it. And then on the opponent's turn, you want to synchro with it, and then bounce one of your opponent's monsters. So this is like a really, really good thing to make on the first turn. But you do need access to any Cool Tune tuner for it, obviously, which shouldn't be a problem. Then we have Cool Tune Red Signal, which I have no idea why they made it short for RS. I think in the OCG, it's just called Cool Tune Red Signal. This is level 5, and it needs Cool Tune Reco plus any plus tuners. Gains 300 attack for each tuner in the graveyard, so this could get pretty big. The levels of monsters your opponent controls with 17 or less original attack are increased by 1. This is the Yummy killer, but Yummy has already been killed by the ban list, so whatever. And also it's Genesis, so we don't care. During the main phase, quick effect, banish a tuner from your grave, then target a face-up card your opponent controls, negate its effect until the end phase. You can only use this effect once per turn. This is basically your theme internal hot red, which is really good as well. So honestly, I like what we're working with here, right? I like this is all the Cool Tune cards, and I do think in general we have a pretty cool concept here. We have some pretty high quality cards. And honestly, the playstyle, as you know, I'm a big fan of grindier decks. And to me, this deck, even though of course it's a little bit more explosive than, let's say, Paleo or something like that, the way I interpret this deck from first glance, without actually having entered a tournament with it, what I feel like you're supposed to do with this deck is you're supposed to play multiple turns with your opponent, because you're not making any crazy broken boards with this. Like, you actually don't. You summon a couple of cool tunes, search your cool tune synchro quick play spell or trap card, and then call it a day. And you're supposed to like grind with your opponent and keep looping the correct graveyard effects over and over to outgrind the opponent. Either you're trying to outgrind them via popping their monsters over and over, you can pop spell traps over and over, you can banish from their main deck, you can banish from their extra deck, like depending on what kind of matchup you're playing and what the situation is, you can always pick between those different pieces and so on. It's I like the concept of this deck. I've been a fan of this concept since they've released this deck, and I'm honestly kind of sad that I wasn't able to play it yet in Advanced Constructed, which is why I'm really tempted to play it for Genesis. But yeah, new engage alt art, we can take a look at it in a second. Let me finish this segment. But yeah, so from what I've seen, and I guess we can talk through this real quick, because everyone is playing in the extra deck for Cool Tune. Everyone is just playing 3 of each of these. Everyone is playing 3 red seal or red signal. You guys said red seal. Maybe red seal is correct. Everyone's playing 3 red seal, 3 track maker, 3 remix, and 3 loudness war. Is this because you actually need 3 of each, or is this because you lock yourself into tuners anyways and there isn't much else that you need or want? You need 3 of each. Okay. Is it because they want to play Extrav? I've seen some people play Extrav in this deck, but I've even the people that don't play Extrav have been playing 3 of each of the cool tunes. Just because it's like, I think these are the best things to do anyways. And look, the thing is, like, a lot of these cards give you extra synchro summons, right? It's like you have Cool Tune Synchro on your turn and your opponent's turn. Cool Tune Clip performs a synchro summon. Remix tags out, performs a synchro summon. Like, you just need a lot of these, I feel like. Because you just keep making them over and over again, because you also need to be worried about, like, resolving your graveyard effects over and over again. So I could see it. I could see playing this, because the only other card I could really think of that would make sense in the extra deck is Metal Marcher, maybe, if you play Effect Veiler. Because Effect Veiler makes it so you can use your level 2s plus Effect Veiler to make Metal Marcher and, like, link climb into higher synchros. Everything else, I didn't really think of anything that you need. Of course, in the future, there is other stuff in the extra deck that you might want. Like, there's more Cool Tune synchros, and there's also Zalen, the thing. You can't play Metal Marcher? Wait, why can't I play Metal Marcher? It's a tuner. Oh, it needs a non-tuner. Oh, okay. Goodbye, Metal Marcher. I was wondering why people didn't play it in Cool Tune. Right, there's a problem there. Okay. That's another reason why they don't play other synchros in this, because you only have tuners. So you don't even have non-tuners. Yeah, I guess that's a good that's a good point. That's a good point. That's why they play 3 of each, because you can't make other shit anyways. Okay. I guess this is a good thing. This is a good thing, because it just means they found a way to properly lock this archetype, you know? Who would have guessed? If you want people to play your archetype pure, then there is ways to make them play your archetype pure. Tell that to the Yummy and Mitsurugi designers, I suppose. But yeah, I don't mind that at all. I'm down to play pure Cool Tune. I mean, you know, I'm a fan of that anyways. All right, let's talk about some of the searches we can play in this deck to make it... No, actually, let's talk about this card first. Red Nova. Red Nova is a card that I was fully expecting to be reprinted in Phantom Revenge. It was a shame that it wasn't. Because of this deck, it's gone up in price quite a bit. I don't know if it's calmed down a little bit, because the cards didn't actually do that much yet, but it was pretty expensive for a while. This card is funny because it wasn't really, I don't know, it probably was intended to work with this deck, but it's kind of funny how good it is in this deck in particular and nowhere else. Because this card is a level 1 fairy tuner that says, there's a bunch of text on this that doesn't matter, but the most important part is if this card is sent to the graveyard for a synchro summon that uses 2 or more tuners, you can special a Fire Fiend monster from your deck in defense position. This is such a specific and powerful synergy for this deck that I feel like it has to be intended. So essentially, the basic line, most people are playing this as a one-of. Most people are playing this as a one-of. What you're supposed to do is you go normal summon Q, which summons any tuner from your deck. Special Red Nova. Make probably Track Maker with these two. Where's Track Maker? You make Track Maker. Then Track Maker triggers to search a card. Q triggers to look at the top 2 cards from your opponent's deck. And Red Nova triggers to summon a Fire Fiend monster from your deck. Which luckily we got one that's called Cool Tune Recco, right? And Cool Tune Recco on summon, and then let's say this one searches probably Cool Tune Synchro most of the time. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then Cool Tune Recco on summon adds a Cool Tune monster from deck or grave to your hand, which, or you could also search the field spell to get an additional normal summon, I guess, for normal summoning Cool Tune Mix. But that just adds a monster. Yeah, quick play or field spell usually, and then Recco can search a monster, which you can search Mix or Clip. And then you can use Recco and Clip. Like, okay, what's a very standard 1-card combo line here? Let's say we want to set up as much as we can off of just Q. Add field spell and search Clip. Okay, if I add field spell and search Clip, I can then Synchro 5 if I want to. Synchro 5 would give me the opportunity to go for Cool Tune Remix, or wait, no, Remix needs Mix. I have to search Mix if I want to make this, right? Yeah. Field spell, tribute the 4, summon the 2. I have one question. As far as I can tell, there is no way to search Cool Tune spell traps other than Track Maker, right? So if I'm searching the field spell, here, I cannot get to the quick play spell, right? Is that correct? For now, I know with the new support, it's not necessary yet because we're building for today. Yes. Okay. In that case, I would prefer to search the quick play spell because I really want that for my opponent's turn. The quick play can add spell trap. Yeah, but like, that doesn't help me get to the quick play spell because if the quick play spell is the one that searches other, like that, I know, but besides the point. And you can make Remix, but it plays into Nib. So would you say that we've already, like, we're done here? If we do this, if we want to play around Nib, we just pass like this? What do we have? We've got 4 cards in hand. We've got Quick Synchro with Clip. That pops a spell trap. This board is fine. Okay, what do we... Alright, so we've got Q in the grave. We've looked at our opponent's top 2, banished one of them, and the other one is back on top or bottom. So we know what kind of card they've drawn. We get to decide that a little bit. And then we can, on the opponent's turn, activate Cool Tune Synchro to search Mix. And then Mix, and we can, well, we have a lot of options from here on out, right? We can summon level 6 with 4+2. We can summon level 5 with 3+2. Like, we can make Red Seal or Remix. We can clip into... Loudness War as well. Okay, I see it. Okay, we have a decent amount of things here. All right. That's not too bad for a 1-card combo. I like it. It's simple, but it's effective. My question is, do you agree that this is a one-of? Because what I was thinking is, like, this paired with any normal summon is probably pretty good to have in your hand, right? You do need Mix for Remix, yeah, but you can use Cool Tune Synchro to search Mix and then perform the Synchro summon with Mix. I play 3 Q, 3 Nova, and 3 Arclight. What, Herald of Arclight? That's not legal. That needs non-tuners. I've only seen people play 1, but I do not get why. I mean, I guess I guess it depends how many high quality cards you have in this deck, but the reason why I got 3 for myself is because I could see this card just being a very solid draw in this deck, right? Because you summon a tuner and then you just use this from your hand to make Track Maker and then you're good to go, right? I thought that would be something that you would want. I guess the problem is, okay, here's, all right, let's walk through this, okay? This card is at its best when you draw it with Cool Tune Q, right? Because if you draw it with Cool Tune Reco, then it's kind of like redundant, because then you're just summoning another Reco from the deck, but you've already used Reco, right? And it's not great with Mix either, because level 3 we can't do anything with, right? So it only pairs well with Cool Tune Q. Yeah, okay. I think that's fair enough. I think that makes it a 1-off for now. Unless there is a really good Synchro 3 that we can make with Mix plus Red Nova. Is there even a legally makeable level 7 Synchro for Cool Tunes? Because it's 2 tuners? No. Okay, yeah, then I think it's 1 Red Nova then. Okay, so we're doing... Let me sort this real quick. We're doing 3 Qs. We're doing 3 Mix. We're doing 3 Reco. We're doing 3 Clip. We're doing 3 Synchro, 1 JJ Cool Tune. We're gonna do 1 playlist because I want to. I'm not saying that's optimal, but like I want to try it. And then we're doing 1 Red Nova. And this is basically the core engine of the deck for the core combos. And now we've got searchers. There's some other searchers that we can play. There is Synchro Overtake, which is a spell that says reveal a Synchro in your extra deck, choose one of the materials mentioned on it, and add it to your hand or special summon it. Also, you can't special from the extra deck except Synchros. This card is broken in this deck. Because this card is essentially emergency teleport for any Cool Tune that's mentioned on any of them, which is Mix, mentioned on Remix, Reco, mentioned on Red Seal. That's it. One of these 2. But that's good enough. It's just a special summon one of these 2 from your deck. It's like a fusion deployment, yeah. So summon Reco or Mix from your deck for free. Both of these... trigger on special summon, which is important. Q does not trigger on special summon, so it's good to have Mix and Reco on these, because you can trigger one that triggers on special. So this is really nice. This is an consistency piece and extender at the same time. You don't care about the lock at all, because all of your good plays lock you into synchros, into tuners anyways. So the locking yourself into synchros is irrelevant. So. This is like always a 3 of in this deck. This card is phenomenal in here. So we've got that. Then we've got potentially Earthbound Prisoner Stone Sweeper, which is this card to add 1 level 3 or lower Fiend tuner from your deck to your hand. Also, you cannot special from the extra deck except Fusion or Synchros. This card searches Cool Tune Reco or Red Nova. So if this is your starter, you can go Stone Sweeper, search Reco. Or if, let's say, you have Cool Tune Q in your hand, you can start with Q. If they negate it or anything like that, or anything else happens, you can go Stone Sweeper for Red Nova and then still do the play, right? So Stone Sweeper is a good option. It is also a tuner. No, it's not a tuner itself. Never mind. I lied. I thought it was a tuner. It searches the tuners. The other one, what was the other one called? Line Walker? The level 3 tuner that we played in Earthbound Runic? I think it was Line Walker, the little level 3 tuner. Okay. Oh no, Nova is a fairy. We can't search that. I made that up, unfortunately. Okay. That makes it worse, because that's just... So, what I was thinking about is like, do we have to play 3... Stone Sweeper, because is Reco even the best starter? Is Reco the best starter for this deck? Because it's like, it feels kind of mid. It ends on Remix Pass. Yeah. Q is the best one, yeah. Okay, I'm not sure how I feel about playing 3 Stone Sweepers if Reco is not that great of a starter, but I've seen people play it. I wanted to mention it. We can think about it. And then there's another card. It's called the Duelist Genesis. If you have a tuner in your field or grave, add a Synchro Spell Trap from your deck to your hand. You can only activate 1 per turn. I like this card, even though it does rely on having a normal summon already, or at least if you're going second, you can discard a hand trap, and then, you know, that works. This card searches Synchro Overtake and Cool Tune Synchro. So it's like there's a little bit of a risk attached to playing this card because it might be dead in your hand if you don't have a tuner, and sometimes there's going to be weird games where you have to like normal summon Ghost Ogre because you need a tuner on the field to activate it. But all things considered, I think it's a pretty strong card because it searches, in my opinion, the two best cards in the deck. At my first impression, I think Synchro Overtake and Cool Tune Synchro are the two best consistency / extenders in the deck. So having a searcher that searches those two, it seems pretty good to me. I'm not sure if it's a 3 of, but I would play it. It is once per turn, so I could see it being a 1 or 2 of, but I do think this card is pretty solid. So these two are optional additional consistency pieces for the deck that we can play. I have to count in a second how many cards that is though, if we need more starters or anything like that. In theory, you can also play Reinforcement of the Army because Cool Tune Mix is technically also a starter. But once again, anything that isn't Cool Tune Q, I'm not sure how happy you are to normal summon it. But Reinforcement of the Army is also an option because it searches your Cool Tunes. And I guess that's the advantage of having so many different typings and whatever, is you can play a couple of different searchers to get a couple of different things. But Rhoda in Genesis is too many points. I was referring more to like Rhoda in general. In Genesis, we're not going to play Rhoda because it's like 30 or 40 points. I don't remember. But yeah, Overtake makes Mix a good starter. If you summon it with Overtake and you still have a normal summon, yes. Because then you can just search Q. Okay, so this is 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 20, 21 cards we are going to play for sure. 6 cards that are optional, and then I think the rest could be non-engine. And for non-engine in this deck, from what I've seen, you just do hand traps depending on how many points you want to spend. Because of course level 3 hand traps are good synergy with this deck because you can use them as synchro material. So cards like Ash, Mourner, Ogre, Bell are all options, even though Ash Blossom is really expensive. I don't know if we can fit it. But these cards are solid. And then there's more niche stuff. You can play Effect Veiler, although I'm not sure how I feel about Effect Veiler because it's a level 1. So it doesn't work with every single starter. For example, if you start with a level 2 normal summon and then you have Veiler in hand, you can't make anything with that. That was originally why I wanted to play Metal Marcher, but I forgot that it needs a non-tuner. But yeah. Veiler is an option. And I've seen people play Cyframes. Because they're also tuners. Yeah, I don't know. Does Gamma have points? I think Gamma has points in Genesis. Hold up. Let me look that up real quick. Cyframe, yeah, Delta has 7, Epsilon has 7, and Gamma has 15. So they have points, but they are options. Okay, so let's talk about points real quick. We've got 5 points, I believe, on Cool Tune Q. And we've got 5 points on Cool Tune Clip. If I remember correctly. That's it for the Cool Tunes. Yeah, so 5 points on the best starter and 5 points on the hand trap. However, that is obviously not going to stop us from playing 3 of each. Which means we are playing... everything you see here is a total of 30 points. So we have 70 points to spend. 70 points to spend is... in theory, not all. I think all of these hand traps would be too much. Okay, so 3 Ash Blossoms would be 45. I think Ash is going to be the biggest problem here with the points. But Bell is 5 points. So this would be 60 already. Ghost Ogre and Mourner, I think, are both 3. So this would be another 18. So this would be, yeah, 78 already. And then Veiler is 7, which is 21. So this entire lineup is already 99 points. We cannot do the full lineup. We cannot do the full lineup, but we could do this. Right? 15, 30, 39, 48, 68. No, 69. Nice. That is 69 points plus the 30 points from the Cool Tune. We have 1 point left. We have 1 point left, technically. Or, hear me out. This, right? This also works. This is now 1 point more than before, because I cut 14, I added 15. That would be 70 points exactly. How good? Here's the thing, right? How good do you think Ghost Ogre and Ghost Bell and Ghost Mourner are in current Genesis format? Like how good are these cards? The ones with few points. Like what are some good applications for like Bell and Ogre? Ghost Ogre is pretty good. What do you Ghost Ogre in general, like in Genesis format right now? I guess like, I don't know. It's just gonna be a mixed bag of matchups anyways. Bell is kind of meh. I mean, can I somehow play 3 Veiler and 3 Ash? That seems impossible. 45, 66. I can only play one copy of one of these. Not even Bell. Bell doesn't even work. If I want to play 3 Veiler, 3 Ash, then I could only do like this. That doesn't seem great. That doesn't seem great. Ash is searchable anyways. I can summon it with Q, but how do I get it back to my hand? Add it back with Remix. Hold up. Oh! Right. Yeah, Remix is tribute this card, choose 2 non-synchro tuners, add one of them to your hand, special the other. Ah, yeah. Alright, speaking of remixes, I guess. Alright, no, then let's do... I'm okay with doing 1 Ash then. Okay, hold up. That is this lineup then, right? I'm down to not play any Psyframes because driver. This is 13. This was 21. 44. 34. If we play 3 and 3 of these, that would be exactly 40 cards. I'm not sure if I'm vibing with 3 copies of each of these though. I'm not sure. I'd rather play 2 or 3 more non-engine. Is there any other synergistic non-engine that makes sense? I think this card is good. I want to play 3 Duelist Genesis. I like that card. I'm not sure how I feel about Stone Sweeper, to be honest with you. I'm not sure how I feel about Stone Sweeper. I guess it's better to open Reco than to not have a star. How many starters do we have? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. These don't really count. Like, we are on like the verge of consistent enough, I think. Cycle Reader is a hand trap tuner. Is there any deck that Cycle Reader is good against in Genesis though? Probably not, right? There's no Fiendsmith. If I wanted to play other non-engine, what would it be? Like, of course I can play like DD Crow, but I don't know. Play 1 more Field Spell, 1 more Nova. Like, that's the thing, right? The Field Spell and Nova are like better in hands that can already play, like in 2-card combinations. The Field Spell and Nova are pretty solid. This is better as like a 1-card combo, right? Which I guess, you know, I think it would be okay to start playing with 3 and 3, because I like... The one thing I would hate to do today is just keep bricking, right? I'm okay with drawing maybe too much engine or like some engine cards that are suboptimal, but I just don't want to brick today, because then I'm not going to experience the deck, right? If I draw too much engine and then I play, but I lose because I don't have non-engine in my hand, that's okay. Because then at least I've played the game, right? And I've kind of like learned something about the deck. I don't want to brick. Is kind of like how I'm feeling. So what you're seeing on the table right now, move this out of the glare. What you're seeing right now is, I think, exactly 40 cards and like 99 points. If I didn't miscalculate. So 30, this is, hold up. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 21, 27, 30. Yes, this is exactly 40 cards. This is exactly 40 cards. We've got 30 points from the cool tunes. 15 from Ash, which is 45. Bell is 5 points, which is 60. Ogre is 3, which is 69. Mourner is 3, which is 78. Veiler is 7, so that is 21, which makes it 99 total. Yes. So this would work. 40 card deck, 99 points. No, I'm down to try this. The fact that you can still afford Ash is broken. It's one Ash. It is a singular copy of Ash. if like, for example, if Bell is bad in the format, then you could cut 3 Bells to play 1 Ash. You could do that. I could see that being a thing. 3 Red Nova and 3 Orange Light is a good option too. I'm not a fan of Herald of the Orange Light if you don't have like a good discard for it. I don't want to discard my engine cards for Orange Light. I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of that technique. Maybe once I get once I get deeper into the cool tune sauce, I might be able to play around with stuff like that, but for now I don't want to play. I don't want to like discard my best starter going second when I Orange Light something. Right? But yeah, okay. So that is that would be a 40 card main deck. Extra deck, is there anything I need other than the cool tune cards at 3? Is there even anything I can make that like people recommend playing in this deck? Vanadium Prime Heart. Dude, do I have a Vanadium Prime Heart? I don't even know what that card does anymore. I just know something Psychic Energy Blades. Do I have a Vanadium Prime Heart? No. I have a Vanadium Trisukta, but not a Prime Heart. Prime Heart is fake. You never summon it. You can make Silvera. Oh, wait. Can we make Silvera on the opponent's turn? That's not bad, is it? Needs a non-tuner? Ah, dude. Chat keeps saying something and I keep believing it. Yeah, they all need non-tuners, man. Silvera needs non-tuners, yeah. Visas? Hold up. Visas Armitara is a tuner and light monster. You can add a spell trap that mentions Visa Starfrost. During your main phase, you can destroy a monster you control. Also, all synchros gain 800. So this is like what? You search Vanadium Reframing. Is Vanadium Reframing free in Genesis? Oh, it is. I mean, yeah, you can maybe play a Reframing, and then like I would side deck the Reframing for going first, if anything. But yeah, the other thing you can do is you can just play Ultimate Slayer targets, I guess, right? That's something that's been very good in Genesis in general, is Ultimate Slayer. So you could just play Ultimate Slayer in the side deck and use your extra deck space on Garura, Malong, Aggregator. Those are all 0, right? That could just be the last 3. I think that's okay. That sounds like a reasonable extra deck. And then your side deck would have 3... Your side deck would be like the most Genesis side deck ever, right? You just play like 3 pros, 3 kaijus, 3 back row removal, 3 Ultimate Slayer, and 1 whatever, right? I do not have Gravity Collapse, and I don't intend on playing Gravity Collapse. I don't have it, and I don't want to play it in Genesis format, all right? So this is not that much for Draco Tail. The Draco Tail matchup is probably okay because we have Bell and Ash for the traps, and Draco Tail has gotten more points anyways. We also have Mourner and Veiler for Arthalion, so it shouldn't be the craziest hard matchup. But like, what's a good card against Draco Tail in Genesis format other than the ones we already have? Non-fusion, not non-fusion area, please. I don't even own non-fusion area. I don't have that card. How many points is Different Dimension Ground? No. Double Cyclone? Double Cyclone could be cool. Is it worth playing? I mean, I don't have that many spells though, right? If I draw Double Cyclone without these, is it worth? Is Draco Tail really that popular in Genesis that is worth playing a card just for it? No. But what else do I need an answer for anyways? What are people playing in Genesis currently, right? Cool Tune, Vanquish Soul, Radiant Typhoon, I guess, is good still. I do have Cosmics for Radiant Typhoon. Radiant Typhoon. What's a really good card against Radiant Typhoon? Anti-Magic Arrows. Anti-Magic Arrows is cool. But can I break the board in main 2 if I can't activate my good spell cards as well? 3 Dark Ruler for Doomsday and Onomat Slop. How relevant is Kaiju's? Like, how relevant is it to have an out to like a Towers? Do I need it? Let me look. Dark Ruler seems reasonable. A tech I've seen in Cool Tune is Naturia Rose Whip. Maybe something to consider. It's a floodgate though. Dude, I don't know if I have that, but you can't summon that with the thing, right? It is cringe, but you can just summon it with the thing, right? The Q. Whatever, I'll find my Dark Rulers later. I played them somewhere and I haven't sorted them back in. It's okay. I might just do Dark Ruler as the last one and just kind of play. I want to get a feel for the deck. I don't think the perfect side deck is that important. Is this going to be more fun for me than Dragon Rulers? Maybe, maybe not, probably not, but realistically I do want to learn this deck because I do like it. It is going to be fun for me. I do think it does feel like a fun deck to me. I like it. Can you do some test hands? I haven't even sleeved it all yet. I guess we can talk about one thing I want to talk about is like the different things you can make from the different starters, I guess, is something we should at least consider, so I don't sit there round one and have no idea what to do, right? So we've talked about Cool Tune Q, summon Red Nova, make Trackmaker, Nova triggers to summon Rekko, and then Trackmaker searches the quick play spell. So that is what you do when you start with Q. Clip obviously isn't a one-card combo. Rekko one-card combo. What does Rekko do? You summon it. It says add a Cool Tune monster from deck or grave to your hand except a level 3. So we search mix or clip are the two options. And then we can make I guess we search clip. Oh no, we have to search mix if we want to end on remix. Okay, this is not a lot. So we search mix, we synchro into remix, which says, yeah, okay. Then on the opponent, it's not nothing, right? It's like you tribute this on the opponent's turn. Let's say even if you have nothing else, you bring these two back, and then you can synchro into red seal. Then you pop a monster, pop a spell trap, and then this negates a card. You know, for worst case, I guess. For worst case, it's kind of okay. Because if that's the thing, right? If I don't have any other cards in my hand that change anything, then I have 4 hand traps, right? And then it's probably okay, right? Like it's gonna change if I have other cards in hand. Like if I draw any other Cool Tunes, then it's a different line. But yeah, just fundamentally this. And then okay, what about mix? Is mix the same thing then? If I just have mix, because on summon it searches not a level 2, so it searches Rekko or Q, but I can't normal summon the Q unless I draw the field spell. So if I start with mix, I search Rekko or Q. No, mix is full combo. Enlighten me on that. Mix is really good with Psyframes because they're level 2 and you can make Trackmaker, I guess. Mix, search 2, make Trackmaker. That's not legal. It says search anything except a level 2. That is not something you can do. That is like literally the first clause on the search effect. So I think mix is okay. Mix and Rekko are pretty simple because they don't go that far yet. Okay. Right. You know, this deck to me feels like, at least from first impression, and this is a good thing, this deck feels like the first turn boards and combos are very low to the ground and very short, and most of it, like most of the things happen when you start interacting with your opponent on their turn, which I think on the one hand I get what you're saying. It seems underwhelming compared to some other decks in the format right now, but my argument is I think more decks should feel like that. Personally, I think this is a direction that I vibe with, and I think they should make more decks like this instead of just making more broken decks. I think if we just keep making archetypes like this and we phase out the currently broken archetypes, then I think that's a good thing. Because this is something that like I thought about recently, is like we've got a couple of products already announced for 2026, right? We know what's in Burst Protocol, we know what's in Blazing Dominion after, and like most of it looks weaker compared to Mitsurugi, Yami, K9, and so on and so forth. So it feels like the power level of the archetypes is going down a little bit. So if they handle those other archetypes that I just mentioned on ban lists accordingly until we get those cards, then I think the power level of those archetypes is going to go down a little bit, which I think is a good thing, all things considered. I'm happy with it. But I guess we're going to have to wait and see how this deck feels when I play it. So, don't worry. You are going to get gameplay from this deck because I'm bringing it to locals today and I'm going to be recording my locals. So we are going to take a look at how this deck plays tomorrow. Of course, I'm not going to play it perfectly. I'm going to play it at locals. I'm going to make some mistakes. I'm not going to see all of the lines because it's going to be my first time playing the deck, but I'm still excited. I think it's going to be fun. And I think I should play this over Dragon Ruler because, of course, the Dragon Ruler deck that we built earlier is also super fun, but I've played that before. This is a new deck. I want to get some experience with it, especially since they've got good legacy support on the horizon. I think it's good to familiarize myself with how this deck plays right now already, so that I kind of know what's going on once those support cards come out. That's always good to be prepared. So, okay.